Hey, friends and family, welcome to this week's edition of Sleeved Podcast. We're glad you could be here to join us. As usual, we have Brenda, Andrew, and this week we have New Scott.
Hello.
And we'll explain New Scott's name in a little while. So, want to get into our individual topics. Brenda, why don't we start with you this week? What would you like to run through as a topic?
Well, I have questions for Andrew again about card mechanics that I'm still just kind of struggling to understand. So I was playing Monday at our local, and my opponent had Snowfort out with a Woody. And I was trying to calculate amount of attack I needed, and I had my gold Mickey out that gave me extra defense. So how much damage would I take? How much damage do I need to deliver? And I could not understand the mechanics and the timing of both Snowfort giving extra attack, extra resist, and then also Woody giving all the toys extra defense.
Correct.
So I didn't.
So it's kind of like a double layer.
Right, and the timing of it and how to calculate what was needed I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, because there's so many moving parts, right? You have the resist, you have the extra health, and you have the challenger one. So as you're attacking that character, not only do you have to do more than one, because one against the resist one does nothing.
Right.
So it needs to be 2 attack or higher. But then you also have to do enough damage to get past the Woody. And that's a lot of people didn't know, back when Green Steel was a real popular deck, the best move you could do was play your Diablo. You wanted to protect your Diablo because he was a 2/2 evasive. He could die to anything. They had a card called the Cove. And when you play the Cove and you moved him into the Cove, now all your characters got one extra health and 1 extra attack. So they would do Storm Rage on, do 2 damage to your Diablo. You'd put a 2 damage counter on there and go, okay, you passed the turn. And you go, oh, I don't kill your Diablo? Oh, he has 1 extra health because of the location. So that's kind of what you're having to figure out is you may do enough damage to kill them, but because the Woody's on board, they can still survive.
Right. So I think I had 2 different characters that I was going to run into one, and both of mine hit for 2.
So you're only doing 1 damage each.
Right.
Yeah.
And that is what I kind of failed to kind of understand or wrap my brain around.
Yeah. And if you remember last week, Gage talking about Snowfort being a very powerful powerful item.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like people kind of got away from ChromaCon and have gone into Snowfort. I know Scott runs some Snowforts as well, correct?
Yes. Yeah, I love it running that in my ward deck. So just run 3 of those, and then I have ward and +3 attack and up to +3 resist.
Makes it very hard to get rid of. Absolutely.
And just so we're clear, and for people listening potentially who don't understand the game, it's per attack. It's not like you have a defense of 4, add 3 to it. It starts off with 3 additional per attack because that's the sequencing portion.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. And not only that, but unfortunately you're taking an extra damage because the Snowfort gives them +1 attack. So not only are you only able to do,
but isn't that only on their turn it gets +1, and on my turn it gets?
It's on when you're attacking them, because the challenger one is it just stays. It just says all your characters get +1. Then the other ability says on your opponent's turn, whenever they challenge, your characters get resist 1. So when you're challenging me and you have the Snowfort out, then you're not getting the resist. But when you pass the turn and now I'm trying to remove your board, that's when the resist comes in. And like I said, doing a damage does not get around resist. And that's why they made that green card that says you can do 2 damage and it gets around resist. Yeah. So that's kind of where you would need to be able to challenge. I know you don't play green, but you would challenge in and then you could use that ability to finish them off. Because even it says right on the card, this card gets around resist. Yeah. And so, that's kind of something. Not ward, just resist. Just resist. Yeah.
It just pierces it, basically.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay.
Then there was another card coming out with set 13. Look what you've done. It's got Mother Gothel.
It's a 2-cost inkable steel action.
Yes. Deal 2 damage to chosen character. During your turn, When you discard this card, you may play it from your discard. You pay all costs. So if I have a gang of ink, how many times can I play it, deal damage, discard, pull it back, play it again?
Just
Like if I have 10 ink.
yeah,
I do-
just the once.
Okay.
Because
So
what
play it for the real turn.
Yes.
Bounce back, play it one more time.
Correct.
That's it.
Correct. Because
two runs.
the way that we see it, and I understand it, and of course, Googly Glimmers, you can refer him. When you play it from your hand, it's entering the field, right? So you're saying, I'm playing this card for 2. When it leaves, it just goes in your discard. So technically, you're not discarding that card, you're just playing the card. What this is allowing you to do is, say you play Strike a Good Match. It says draw 2, discard 2. You're going to draw 2 cards. You're going to say, hey, I'm going to have to discard this card and another card. Because it left your hand, that's considered discarding. From my hand to my discard pile is discarding. Now, because it's in your discard, you can say, okay, now I want to pay the 2 to play this card from my discard and do the damage. Again, it goes into the field to play and then leaves, so you're not discarding it. So that's the drawback to it.
Okay.
Yeah. Right?
You don't get because they had all this stuff in this set where, draw 2 cards like the Firefly Swarm, where if you put 2 cards in, now you can do the banish any character.
Correct.
You don't get the advantage of it twice, basically. It's
Correct.
not going in and out. It's still just one.
Yeah, playing the card is putting it into the field before it goes into your discard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's in a temporary state and then goes.
Correct.
Well, that was.
I'm sorry to burst your bubble.
No. Well,
I know, a
was
lot of
just
people are like,
toying
"Oh, it's
with some
broken,"
steel
and it's
play,
like, it's
but
not.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
I was very curious about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, Andrew, I know you wanted to talk about the one jump ahead and using Cindy and Moana as well. So
yeah.
Let's get into that.
Being blue players that we are, we're having a funeral in the backyard. We're burying our TPO. We're burying our sail. A lot of our ramp is leaving, and so what that does, unfortunately, is you're looking for alternative ways to ramp, and you love the Mickey and the Ichabod crane or things like that. And what's happening is even the Ichabod and the Mickey are both uninkable.
Correct.
So one jump's uninkable. So now your uninkable count starts to go up, and all of a sudden now, it turns off a card like Moana, right? Because we used to be able to ramp, and then everybody loved your best move was to play a sail and then ink sail with Moana, getting the extra ink.
Yeah.
And now, if you're singing one jump or you have a Cindy out and they banish it and it goes to your discard, you play a Moana, you can't ink any of those cards because they're uninkable. So
the Ichabod goes once it's banished, it goes
inked,
right into your ink, right? So
one jump and the Mickey Mouse, any of those are going to go into your discard. You're not going to be able to ink that with Moana.
So we do have a way around this because there is a card that allows you to ink any card.
But it's in green.
It is in green.
It's in Baja. So I guess if you want to
play
run Baja,
Baja, you can get around.
And what is that card, Scott?
I don't remember what that.
The
was.
Madam Mim.
Oh, the Madam
Hummingbird.
Mim. Yes, but then you have to play with Ward, which how horrible is that?
I know.
Ward.
Unfortunately, she is only a 1/1. She is evasive, but she allows. So there used to be a card, Hidden Ink Caster, that was in green. It was a 2-cost uninkable item that said all the cards in your hand and deck now become inkable. So it lets you ink anything, which was nice. And it was an item and it sat there. But this Madam Mim Hummingbird is a 1/1 evasive. So when she's out, you kind of want to wait till you really need to play her because she's probably not going to stay, especially with Eleanor out, right?
Yeah.
Eleanor's just going to eat her for lunch. But if you can play it and then be able to ink an uninkable card from your hand, that's at least a advantage. So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Anything else you want to talk about up top here, Andrew?
Let's get to Scott.
All right, Scott, what would you like to talk about? Any topic in particular?
Not really. The only thing I'm really looking forward to is I want to see what the Vinelings will do because I think that could be a fun deck to play. Is all the different colors.
Are you upset that they gave different color Vinelings? They gave the honey classification, but they didn't give a Vineling classification.
Yeah, I mean it'd be nice because it's meant to be direct copy, so it should have honey. But,
yeah.
I mean, it's still not a big deal because you can always just kill those ones with what's a perfect copy or only one.
True.
So you get to kill all their copies.
Oh, the Aladdin character?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I just think that it's an interesting mechanic, and a lot of it's floodborne based, so you can run a lot of floodborne traits. So I'm interested to see if that'll work out.
I just feel bad because they made them in steel and blue and green, but it's like you can't use them all like you could the honey characters, right?
Yeah.
So it's like here are these powerful cards, but they're not usable in one set of colors.
Yeah, but I think as we've seen with the honey designation, they're thinking 2-3 sets ahead, and we just don't know what they're thinking. But then you're going to see, like, there's going to be something to tie them all together.
You would think.
Would be my guess.
Because you want to play that big shift, right? That 10-10-10, the vine, right? That's like your ultimate goal. So you're kind of in steel now.
Yeah.
And then you have to pick something to go with your steel.
Yeah, like blue
But-
for ramp. Or something.
Yeah. But if you had a yellow vineling or a red vineling, now you can't play those. So I think they needed to make maybe a balance on each side. The honey is like the good side, the vinelings are the bad side, but at least you can play all the colors.
Yeah, no,
So-
got it.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the market. I know I put out a market watch yesterday. If you guys are on the YouTube, hopefully you've seen it. But I want to talk about the leveling out and even the regression of pricing, which, thank God. We were talking earlier.
Yeah.
The first 3 Buzz Lightyears that sold all sold at $15,000 each.
Yep.
In the last 7 to 10 days, $4,500. Same PSA 10.
Yeah.
Now, interestingly, I learned a tidbit that those first 3 Buzz Lightyears were all bought by the same person.
Oh, okay.
So I don't want to call it market manipulation,
Right.
but they were clearly trying to drive and they did.
Yeah.
They drove the market because that car
Yeah.
hit 20 grand at one point.
Yeah, absolutely.
With that receding and coming back down to a more manageable number, and I know $4,500 is a lot of money, but 15,000, 4,500, these are apples and oranges, right? If we look at booster boxes, today is July 9th, I think. It is Wilds Unknowns down to $220 a box, right? So we're seeing some regression in that as well, which is good. And I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but when the single prices just started skyrocketing because of these buzzes, the boxes did not for about a week or two.
Right.
Now we're seeing singles come back down. Booster boxes are starting to come down, but they have not fully started yet, right? So
Yeah.
that'll be an interesting one. I know, Andrew, one that's close to your heart is Moana. And,
Yeah.
Moana is gone, from, I think when it first dropped, you could get them for like upper 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, shot up to $2,500 for a raw Moana. Today we're talking $1,800 get you a Moana, and I really think that's probably closer to a $1,500 number.
Right.
Right?
For an ungraded, yeah.
Yeah, for an ungraded raw one. Now, PSA 10s will always carry a value. You have one, which is awesome, and
they're holding it hostage, but yes, I'm about to get it back, so yes.
Yeah, and as we all know, PSA likes to go, oh, this is the value of the card, and you got to pay us more because we're running this like a mafia.
Yep, absolutely. You got to break it out of jail if you want it.
Exactly. And Winter Spell booster boxes have dropped.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I think that, I don't think we're going to get down to 140 anytime soon, but I think 150 to 180, if you find in that range, I'd tell you to buy it.
Yeah.
The
market it's leveling out, and it usually does right before a new set drops, right? Because the anticipation for the new stuff drives it up, and then it kind of flattens out, and then it'll, once all the cards are released, then people are kind of like, okay, well maybe I'm not as excited, because unfortunately I've seen a few people where they're just like, it's cool, but it's not, they're not driven like they were, and a rotation set as well.
Correct. And I'll put this out to all of our listeners. Please don't buy this FOMO pricing before the product is released.
Yeah.
I was looking at TCG Player today, and people were buying Attack of the Vine at $260 a box. Do not do that. It's gonna drop. We've been around for, I think it's our 4th set, and it's always before the drop higher. Day of the drop, it drops down, usually to MSRP or lower.
Right.
And quite honestly, I've been to card shops, shout out to JJ's in Garden Grove, who usually sell them the day of the drop for like $120.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I like patronizing them. We go there all the time when we're in LA. So
absolutely.
I appreciate that. The last card I want to talk about, and this is in case anyone in Tucson is listening, is the Eeyore card. That was going for like $950, and today it's $720. So again, everything's kind of receding back to a more manageable price. I still think it's an epic.
That was Eric at AD.
That is Eric at AD.
Yep.
I still think that card is overpriced. I think epics should be $100 to $300 range.
Right.
That has the Winnie the Pooh tag to it.
I know.
So
I
that's
know.
what that
Popular
drives.
IP in the Disney book.
It is.
It is.
But it's a vanilla 5.5 that never saw play the first time it was printed, and then they reprinted it in Fable and gave it Enchanted.
Yeah.
And it just people just lost their mind, and it's a cool card because I like that Disney does the Floodborn stuff, the Dreamborn, where it's like they fantasize like Cinderella, but she's a knight, or all the dwarves are knights, or all the so it's like they kind of give you that imagination of like, hey, imagine if this character was this, and that's exciting,
Yeah.
Who knows what Pocahontas may be next? You just never know.
She's always been a badass.
Oh yeah, and she's a princess.
And she is a princess. I want to go back to something Scott had mentioned, and you just said it as well. Floodborn,
Yes.
Dreamborn.
Yes,
What are these terms? Can you explain them, either of you?
I can, but
I don't remember what they were from. I just remember that I always saw Floodborn.
I know that the name Floodborn is part of Lorcana history.
it's part of that lore. Yeah. So the whole with the Inkcasters and everything, right, is that they're drawing these characters. So that's why you have ink because you're using the ink to draw the characters and all that. And so you'll notice that there's the 5 characters, or 6 because there's one for each color. And now Rebecca Quest has kind of hinted that there's a dual-colored hero that's coming. So she's standing at the entrance to the vine, and she has a yellow cape with a blue outfit. So maybe like a first dual ink kind of hero. But that's the whole premise, is that you're drawing these glimmers. And so they see them as, set 2 was Rise of the Floodborn.
Correct.
So that's where a lot of these Floodborn characters, and most Floodborns are, I think all of them are shift characters.
Okay.
So that's what's allowing you to shift onto another character. And then they've kind of taken it a step further in the Attack of the Vine, because now you have this universal Floodborn shift.
Yeah.
Where you can
Any
shift
Floodborn.
the vine onto any of the Floodborns. Yeah. And again, we saw it with Morph in the green. We're going to see it with Morph in the purple, where he's just going to be so valuable because he counts as anything. So it's going to be hard when you have 3 cards out. You cannot remove both. You can only remove one. The Morph is going to be the character that you remove to make that shift happen. So if you have I know he's purple, but let's just say you had a Boo and a Sully out, right? Mm-hmm. And then you remove a Boo, and you're like, okay, he can't shift, but the Morph counts as anything.
Shift target,
yeah, so it's like, that's why that card I think is going to be so powerful, is because it allows you to shift anything on top of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And of course, it's in purple, your favorite.
Yeah. Don't touch it.
And you can also use it probably as a decoy, like you're saying, because maybe you have another card you want to shift with it.
Correct.
That's not a Sully or
a
Boo.
Yeah, and it's funny because they reversed it, because the old Morph, I believe, was a 2-1, and the new Morph is a 1-2. Mm-hmm. So they reversed it, and I think it has to do, again, a lot with Eleanor. Eleanor is in the meta, so a lot of your... when you see an Eleanor, we see them playing green, they probably run Eleanor. They're probably going to be able to remove your one drops, your Tinkerbell in red, that's a 3-1. All those cards are going to...
Your one defense.
Yeah, they're not going to see a lot of play, because we're living in a world where she's...
Just going to turn side.
Yeah, she's so popular. She's so good of a card, because you're gaining a lord, you're drawing a card, and you're doing a damage. And Scott over here, I'm sure, would love running his Scar... Right? So Eleanor's doing the dirty work, and Scar can clean it up, right? Eleanor puts the damage on it, Scar banishes the damaged character. So...
Yeah, Shere Khan is amazing.
Oh, Shere Khan, yes.
Yeah, Shere Khan does that, and then also you can do that with Cruella now, too. Because she does the same thing. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't make her own counter, but now you'll have something that can make the counter.
Correct. So. That synergy.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what that piercing... the piercing card we were talking about will get through resist.
Because on the resist, so you can put the actual damage on them.
Yep.
Yeah, because if you don't have placement.
And then use that Shere Khan to banish it.
Yeah.
So powerful cards. And he's evasive. I learned that out the hard way, right? We always try to attack Scott, and then he goes, "Oh, you have evasive?" And I go, "Oh my god, you have ward. He's not ward. He's evasive. His ward is
Yeah, me and Matt love our evasive decks.
Yeah.
Well, Scott also likes to do a bunch of crazy things, and this is your discard deck. If I play a card, you got to discard. If you kill that card, you got to discard.
Yeah.
What do you mean you lost? I don't understand. I'm just here to have fun, Scott. We're going to get into this. So let's actually, which brings us to our topic of the week, deck building. Mm-hmm. So both of you, but Andrew, I'm going to let you lead it because you're one of the main hosts.
How's Brenda deck building? Pocahontas.
Pocahontas.
Yes. As long as
I try. Suggested.
As long as it has
Winning
Pocahontas.
does not matter.
and
I
they-
play my ladies, and that's it.
Yep. We've all learned.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
and Brenda is not here to win. She's here to have a good time, and that's phenomenal, right? And
Hey, she beat me last week.
this community is
True.
so many different angles that it doesn't matter, right? You can be here, and not everyone can win. I finished last a lot, right? I want to get better, but Christ. So let's get into deck building.
Okay.
And Scott, I want you to interject as well, but I want you to talk about the fundamentals of deck, but what you're looking at, what kind of, and Scott's going to interject more, I think, when we're talking about like running a specific thing, right?
Right.
Hey, I'm going for ward, I'm
Scott
going for
is not
evasive.
meta.
Right.
But I want you to talk about building a meta deck, like what your thoughts are, what you think people should be looking at, and
How many uninkables versus
Right.
inkables, and having the 1, 2, 3s, 4 drops. Like
Your curve.
your
curve. That's the word. Yes.
Yep. Yeah. So let's start with like sealed, right? Because we're all going to be playing the sealed. We're all going to be, looking to have fun and everything else. And so I think a very powerful, and I don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my mind. You might have to look it up. I don't know if there's item removal really in this set. If they've printed anything with item removal.
Only a couple, I think. I don't remember.
Right.
But yeah, most of the big item removals from this set out now.
Yeah.
So yeah, your sabotages and
Yeah.
all that stuff, and then you have that other one from the So Be It, which always just removes with attack. So
Correct.
yeah,
The reason I'm saying is that purple card, the 4 uninkable item, is probably going to be the all-star of your sealed event, right? If you open one of those, you're looking in really good shape. And that's the one that says whenever they quest, they need to pay 1 ink or you gain a lore.
yeah.
And if there's
Attacks.
not removal out, that's just going to sit there forever. The Snow White that you like to play, the 4-drop Snow White 2/2, she said she cannot be challenged.
Right.
So in that sealed event, that made that card so powerful because there wasn't a lot of direct removal. So it would sit there and just quest, and you go, I can challenge it. Like, quest for 2, quest for 2.
That's right.
That was just the all-star.
You're talking about Source of the Vine.
Source of the Vine. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's without item removal in this set, that's going to be a powerful card when you do your sealed event. That's going to get you a lot of lore, or it's going to stop them from playing a lot of characters. So that's going to be like a powerful card. And that's kind of like how you talked about, right? When you get your packs, you open it up. I know you do it. You divide them out. Here's my 1 drops, my 2 drops, and then you kind of build your deck around that. And you need to just be aware of if you're an inkable count. I think that's where a lot of people have trouble. You want it to be down around the 12 to 15. Even 15 is kind of pushing that limit, right? And we've seen it, and I hate to say it, but I'm only running 10, or I'm only running. You'll see them all. You see them all.
I ran a lot. I
Yeah.
ran 20
Yeah.
in my last deck. And
Which is 2 drops and 1. So you're running the low
several
stuff.
times I had an entire hand of uninkable, but they were all, 3 or less. Tiana was my biggest, and she
Yeah.
was a 3. But
And that's what makes that Madam Min Hummingbird so powerful, is that she's inkable, you play her, now you can ink from your hand.
Yeah.
And cards like that aren't made to quest. That card's purpose is to let you ink from
Let
your
you
hand.
ink, yeah. Mhm.
It's just that it's evasive, so even if they could do something that would exert it, okay, well, it's still evasive, they can't really challenge it. So that card is just made for you, another way of you inking your uninkable cards. So that's kind of things that you look at. And first, I would say when you get into deck building is your colors, right? So he draws more towards the red, the green. I don't really see you play blue a whole lot.
Only so little.
Yeah.
But just because that's ward. Because
Yeah.
there's only 2 colors that do ward, which is green and blue
Correct.
for the most part. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'll play that together.
And a lot of those colors share similarities.
Yes.
Where, the singers used to only be in amber. Now red has singers as well. Like you said, the ward is mostly green, but now it's also in blue. Blue had the ramp. Now yellow has pseudo ramp, which is, the ham, the
grandma.
grandma, all those kind of cards.
And then the cards that let you play characters for free.
Correct. So I think yellow is going to be very powerful. And yellow now also has the board wipe, right?
Yeah.
So not only are they able to ramp out characters and do all that, but they're also able to board wipe. So, yellow had singers, red has singers, blue had ramp, yellow now has ramp. So a lot of those similarities in colors kind of make each color work well with the other color. So I think the first thing when you're deck building is what colors do you like? You're attracted. You like the blue. She's playing the purple yellow. I play blue. Scott plays his red and green. He likes the boost. He's very good with the boost decks.
I like the boost effect. Just there's not enough of them yet that let you stack. So hopefully we'll make more.
And how many did we get this set?
None.
Yeah.
No boost
Now,
decks.
Scott, does color matter to you, or you just look for the ability? You build decks around certain abilities.
I build decks around themes or abilities or keywords. So mostly that's why I don't do yellow, because they don't have a whole lot of any of that. They don't have really any evasive. They don't have
Sing.
any reward.
That's
All
yellow.
they have is really a sing and then small guys.
Yeah.
So if you like that stuff, I was never really into that either in Magic or anything else. So
Yeah.
I was never into goblins or any of that. So that's literally what you're running. You're running dogs, which is basically just goblins.
Yeah.
You're running very small itty bitty guys, and you overwhelm. And can you do
Correct.
that before you can?
And you
save?
get enough out that can sing
Yes.
out of the sea, and then
Yeah, or whatever else you might need to support and kill something or draw something. Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, that, and then the other thing for uninkables, at least for mine, I always run lower just because, unless you, like you said, you're running certain colors, you don't have draw, so you can't draw your way into what you might want, or draw
Right.
your way out of an uninkable hand.
Yeah.
So I think that depends too. I always try and run 12 maximum. Anything more, I've just had just bad circumstances.
We've all been there. And how many times do you tap your deck? All right, and draw for turn, and it's an inkable, and you try to fake it, right? Like, oh, I'm just going to quest this character and pass, and you're going, you're just passing, and you go, yeah, it's part of my strategy, and it's like, yeah, you're just sitting there with a handful of uninkables. So
Yep.
we've all been there, absolutely.
And Jason, you referred to Scott as New Scott.
I do refer to him as New
But-
Scott.
I think he needs a more accurate nickname at this point. I, behind the scenes, call him Scott the Enrager because
There
he
you go.
has enraged some people in our league
Yeah.
that have threatened to, like, I'm not playing anymore. I can't do this. You win. I give up.
That's
So
like Charlie and Bend to My Will, right? That's
Yes.
Right.
That's how you want to get under his skin.
Scott, you build decks that are just so non-meta, but
Yeah.
they work really well for you. Like,
And as we kid, right, when you sit down and play Scott, you're going, what's that card
what?
do?
Yes, you have to read every card. Read every card.
Yep.
What drives you to do this?
Pretty much just ever since I started playing any kind of games, even when I was playing tabletop games, I played non-meta stuff. So it's just always been that way. I don't like normal stuff. It's boring and
So everyone goes right and you go left, huh?
yeah. I want something that's gonna be amusing that no matter what, even if I'm losing, I'm gonna enjoy. So that's why I pick either the theme
There you
or something
go.
else, whether
Yeah.
that's a certain race. Or
Holly's the same way.
Yeah. So
She
like for
builds
Magic,
this.
it was usually dinosaurs, just because dinosaurs were always fun.
Yeah.
So I would do something like that.
Yeah.
And then I would also play Magic, not even for spells. I would play like my favorite card system, which was Versus system, where that was basically DC and Marvel combined on licensing to play each other. And that was, like you said, curve. That was literally the entire game was curve, because all you ever put in your row, it didn't matter. So you could always ink something basically every turn, regardless of what it was, even if you couldn't use it. So it was
There you
more
go.
about characters fighting than
Right.
anything else.
Yeah.
So, and then Lorcana's a little different because obviously it's not, you don't have to fight any characters, you can just win.
Yeah.
So it's a little different that way.
Yeah. Exactly.
But yeah, and yeah, that's the one thing like Magic, because even in Magic I wouldn't really ever do counter spells. I would just play support spells. So that's what I try and do, but there's not really a lot of support
Right.
spells in Lorcana.
Right.
So it's the card itself. So that's why I like Resist, because Resist is really the only support thing you really have.
Yeah, it's stagnant. It just
Yeah,
stays there.
you're just stagnant.
Yep.
Stagnant damage resistance, and there's not a lot. If you can get around it, great, but then it forces them to have to use removal to kill them.
Correct.
And they might have to use 2 or 3 or more because
Yeah.
you're reducing the damage, and there's very few things in the game that does placement.
So how did you feel about the piercing card then being printed?
I don't know if it's going to see a lot of play, like you say, because I think it'll go in just because it's a good removal, but
Right.
will it be like you say, will that become a meta?
Right.
Because Resist isn't really
And
meta.
they didn't put a lot of resist in this set either. So.
Yeah, there's only a couple of cards that have it. So they put a lot of resist in this current one,
Yeah.
and even then I don't see a lot of people playing with some of it. Like, this is incredible, that gives everyone resist. So.
Right. Yeah.
So would you rather play with Resist or with Ward?
Probably Resist. And I probably will, at least for the one, because they have like one card in this set which gives people resist as well. So I might throw that in. And then that's the only card now that gives you ready. So now you only have 2 cards that give you ready. I love that mechanic too, being able to hit ready characters. So
Yeah.
you have One Last Hope,
Yep.
which is still around from 9.
Yeah.
And then you have, I can't recall the card that's in this current set, but that one also allows you to attack ready characters and gives resist. So both of those give you resist and attack ready. So you at least have 2 cards now. You can do that with again.
Do you know what color it was?
It was silver.
Okay.
Yeah, all the silver's the only one that ever gets any of that.
Yeah.
We call that steel here.
We know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Scott, in your non-Lorcana life, what is your favorite Disney IP or character?
That's probably going to be Jasmine for my princess, and then my favorite
Because
character
she's a
overall.
smoke show.
Yeah, she's hot. Yeah, she's hot, and it was Robin Williams back in the day. So
Do you play a lot of Jasmine, or do
Not
you
really.
find those cards
Don't
don't
know.
have the ability that you
no,
want?
they don't have the abilities usually.
Yeah.
There's only the silver one that has the bow staff that gets like
Every time they print a card, he drops a little tear, right? He's like, an unplayable Jasmine. I mean, that early shift combo they used to have in Blue Steel, that was kind of powerful. So that one saw
The Jasmine.
play. Yeah, that saw play
Find
for a
an
while.
ally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
But that's
So-
going away, so no more allies. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always liked Aladdin. I liked a lot of the early Disney properties, and not as much the newer ones. But I think we talked about that before, just because it's all remakes.
Yeah.
So there's not as much original IP going on.
I know. I love and the live action Moana, and I'm like, well, I've seen the cartoon like so many times, like because even my wife was like, so it's just seen for
Yes.
and I'm just like, kind of. So
That's what we were talking about earlier. I read an article from a reviewer, like it's a shot-for-shot remake.
yeah.
So why not? I'll watch the cartoon and
Yeah.
it'll be a lot.
Yeah, they're comparing it to the Psycho remake.
Yeah.
That one didn't do very well
Yeah.
because it's like that's an artistic choice. But
I mean, I love it. It's one of my favorite movies, but it's like I'll just wait for it on Disney Plus. I
Yeah.
wouldn't see it in the theater.
Or again, I'll watch the cartoon and I'll be
Yeah.
happy.
True. Yeah.
So then, Scott, despite IP or character, what is your favorite card that you've played so far, and why?
oh, that's easy. It's Scrooge. Red
Because-
Scrooge too.
The
because
boost Scrooge,
He's one of
yeah.
the few boost characters you can just stack, and then unless they remove you can just attack people.
He
so
gains
quickly.
attack for each card.
He gains
under.
attack and stamina for every card you put under him.
So was you and I that were playing at one of the
Yeah, I remember that.
one of the shops, and he had the green Scrooge that lets him double boost,
Yeah.
right? And then I didn't read it or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna kill this Scrooge, and he draws like 14 cards, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Yeah.
Team.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
just Donald Duck says when you lose your character on an opposing character's turn, you get a card for every card under that character.
Oh my
so
gosh.
Scrooge had like 12 cards, so that's 12 cards you get to draw.
So you failed to remember when you play
Yeah,
Scott.
kill
You
I
have to
didn't after
read
that.
every
Kill
Yeah.
Donald
card.
first or don't
Yeah.
even
Read
bother.
every
Yeah.
card.
Yep.
Yep.
I was just like, wow, that was a mistake.
Yeah, just weird combos like that.
Yep. Absolutely.
And you do love doing that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
I've always liked the weird combos. Magic always had fun weird combos you could do, and the ones that they have a lot of weird off the wall ones in this one. I like the new one because now that I think there's a set champs I played in. You have Prince Philip is going away.
Yes.
The one
Yeah.
everyone loved, the ward one, but you still have the 4-drop one, which gives ward to everyone else.
Right.
That has hero.
Right.
So that's another fun combo because then you can give, if you build a hero and princess deck, you can have heroes. All princesses for the most part are heroes.
Right.
So they can all, so you can have Snow White and Pocahontas because I like her.
That's
She's
right.
purple.
And she's a hero.
They get ward, and then
Oh
Prince.
yeah, we gotta talk about
Prince has it, and then also I put Goofy in there because then Goofy gives everyone else ward back because Goofy has a hero as well. So it still has the combo. It's just obviously it's easier to kill, but it's just another way of having as much ward as possible without really having ward.
How much has your historical magic influenced your thought process in your Lorcana deck building?
Magic is not as much because, like I said, Magic I love just doing support. So I never used counter spells. I never played blue because blue was horrible. I also just played green and then maybe one other color. I would still only do green, mono green, even though you're supposed to do 2 colors at least.
Right.
So I would just do that, and the one I would always do was like, because once again, versus system, I want to attack that character. Can I attack that character without losing my character? Let me play a support card. So
Yeah.
I try and run things like that to be like, hey, I'm going to use this and do a flying kick so I can hit that character over there that's hidden or has evasive, for example.
Right.
So there's not a lot in that for Lorcana, but there are a couple that will give you bonuses. You had in the early sets I saw, but they kind of got rid of that where you had like a dodge where it would give you like +2
Yep.
attack
Yep.
and you could get evasive.
Yep.
So, but they don't seem to have as many of those anymore. But those
Yeah.
kind of cards are really cool for support and attacking.
The the actions unfortunately seem to take a backseat to the songs.
Yeah.
You know, songs are just so much more powerful than an action because an action you have to take kind of a part of your turn or your entire turn off to do something, right?
You're
So
utilizing your ink.
Yes.
It's a song you're not.
correct. And so that because we talk about tempo, right? So you want to be playing something every turn. So the fact that when you play a discard deck and they're making you discard. Well, then everyone was running Finders Keepers, which says I now draw 3 cards. So it's like, okay, you may make me discard. I'm down to 1 card, but now I'm paying 5 ink to play this card to draw 3. So at least I'm getting more cards in hand, but I took a whole turn off to do that.
Right.
And that's where your tempo all of a sudden now swings and you're behind. So, you know, songs, everyone just looks at, is that a song? That's cool. Is it a song? No, it's
And
an
you have
action.
your song deck.
Yeah.
And like we saw
Yep.
one day when we played each other,
Yep.
too many songs and not enough characters.
Yep. And drawing unequal after. I've never
Yeah,
seen
unequal
4 of the
after-
same, you know,
Unequal, yeah.
4 same
Thank
song.
you, Lauren,
all in,
for
yeah.
shuffling his deck.
Yeah.
I got to win.
Yeah.
Well, and
Yep.
that's the thing. So that deck is either going to just destroy people or
Correct.
you're going to cry.
Correct.
Right.
Because you're just sitting there with your...
It's
you know,
an extreme one way or the other.
And to get back to the deck building, that's kind of what you're looking at, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about it, and it's important is like kind of what the meta is right now, what other people are playing. So I know like Scott loves to play his own type of deck, but if we live in a world where everyone's just going as fast as they can,
Yeah,
it's
aggro
gonna
people.
it's gonna be hard for you to just say, oh, I'm gonna play Sayo and Ink and all that, and then pass. And they go, okay, well I have 3 characters out and you have
Yep.
none, and you're just
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is how that deck goes. And you know, they used to, and this Pirate Life's still around, but they used to have the big payoff for that, you know, doing that turn. You know, you were able to play your big Sisu, or you were able to like be prepared, or you were able to do a board wipe and reset. And then that's kind of like we talk about when your deck building is, you know, you have your, I hate to say it, I know you hate the A word, but the aggro
do.
deck. You have an aggro deck, you have a control deck, and then you have, you know, your mid-range.
Yeah.
And so the control deck is like we say, they sit back and they get punched,
Yep.
right? I'm questing for 1, I'm questing for 2, and then you get to that point where you're like, okay, well, now I have 8 ink or 7 ink, I'm going to be prep, wipe your board. Oh, okay, I'll play this, and I'll play a big Sisu, and I'll play a dragon, and then you're just removing everything. I play the Hades, I ink that. So every card now that they're top decking, so everything that they're top decking,
Yeah.
you're just removing. And then now that you've built out 3 or 4 characters, you're questing those characters. And so when rotation happened and B-Prep was gone, you know, they sang in the streets, you know, glory, glory, there's no more board wipe. And then they came back
Raging
with,
Storm.
they had Malicious Minuscary and the Prince, and
Yeah.
they had Under the Sea.
Yep.
So they did have some, but not like B-Prep, not like, you know, where it was just so constant. And so adding that to yellow with, you know, yes, it's an action. So that takes your entire turn off.
Yeah.
Because right now there's not a way that you can play an action without paying the cost. So, I mean, you play blue yellow,
Yeah.
and all that, so you've seen it.
Yeah. I mean, so in both of you, Scott and Andrew,
Mm-hmm.
would you say that tempo is the most important thing for any deck? Scott doesn't agree.
No, you don't need tempo. It helps a lot,
Right.
but you can play things that are either stop and starting or just stupid. I like playing those type of decks because you're playing a certain theme. If the theme works, it works. If it doesn't, just go switch to another theme.
Right.
So yeah, the only thing I don't use, like I said, was aggro, just because I've played it before and it's just not really my style.
Mine either.
Yeah.
And if anyone plays yellow, purple, you are an aggro player.
She said you're number 1.
For those listening at home, I'm number 1. For
Yeah.
those of you watching the video, you saw that.
We're going to have to put a card over that or something. Put a
No,
Pocahontas
we'll
card.
be good. I said we're not. I said we don't do it for kids.
There you go.
So okay. Any other thoughts on deck building? Like
The only other one I had I got from Gage, but I haven't built it yet because I played one, same thing where it was Scrooge, it was red-green, and I was basically getting all the weird draw, and so I had like 5 or 6 cards in my discard, so I was thinking of trying to do something with that, and then also with Olaf, because he pointed out like, Olaf would be great for that, because he's a 9-drop, that every card you have in there, you can slowly reduce it and gain more.
correct. Every
it's-
action.
Every
Yeah.
action, yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what I was playing, because I had Improvise, I had Dangerous Plan,
Right.
yeah,
A bunch of
all
1,
those
2 drops.
1 and 2 drop actions
Yeah.
and songs
Hate that
force
Olaf.
you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did it to her
Well,
last
Andrew
Friday.
dropped like
Yes.
2 or 3
Yeah.
in one hand. Like
That
one
is
match,
unfortunate
yeah.
because the actions don't get cycled back in. So once you hit 9, it's pretty much free
It's free.
Olaf. It's free Olaf
Correct.
time.
Yes.
So
Well, you
You
can
know.
cycle the actions back in if you were playing the Maui Shark, which is now going to be out. But
Right.
right, because you attack someone, pull an action back.
But chances are you're going to replay that.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I
agree.
mean, like when Chernobog, right? Chernobog said same thing. For every character out, or every character in your discard, you count one less.
Yes.
But then when you were able to get to Chernobog and you played him, you would take all those characters and shuffle them in. So then if you top deck a Chernobog, you still couldn't play it because now you don't have enough, you know. So with Olaf, it's like once you hit that 9, you're good to go.
Yeah.
You can just keep dropping them over and over. So
Yeah, no, I agree.
isn't it fun?
No.
So fun.
But I still beat you.
I know you did. Absolutely. I was trying that strategy. I draw and I pass.
I'm holding this
Yeah.
until
I'm trying to
next
be
time.
very slick about it, yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that happened to me when we had set champs. I had I had 5 uninkables in my
That's right.
hand, and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
And they know too because you're like, I'm gonna ink this power line or I'm gonna ink this Maui shark, and
Right.
they're like,
Yeah.
what? Like
Don't
the most
worry.
powerful
Yeah.
card, and you're just like, yeah, I don't feel like playing him today. You know, I'm just gonna try a different strategy.
However, I will say I've been practicing with a certain deck for the new rotation.
Oh yes, he's in the lab.
Yes.
The secret
And
deck.
Professor Jason's in the
I've
lab.
definitely been inking because my most powerful cards are always 7 drop, whatever.
Right.
So I'm like, hey, if it's in the, and I try to start out with nothing above a 5, right? But if I do my mulligan and I end up with a 7, I'm like, I have to ink this because I'm not going to see it for.
Yeah.
I can't just have it sit in my hand,
Yeah.
right? And I can play something else.
And that's why you run 4 copies.
Yeah,
Right.
correct.
And that's kind of another thing in the deck is, you know, a lot of people play a 1 and a 2 of, and that's fine. The people that can play 1 and 2 ofs are the people that are running purple, that are just drawing. You're drawing half your deck. So
Yeah.
you're going to see that card. But if you're not, you know, chances are you getting that is not going to be great.
Correct.
And they're starting to put in tutors like we talked about with Christopher Robin. Like you can play Christopher Robin, says search your deck for a honey character.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I need a Rue or I need something. I need, you know, Kanga to sing the song. Now you can go and actually find it and take it out and be able to play it. And so when that becomes more and more, you can tell that they're slipping into the Magic realm now because you're playing cards from your discard. You're doing these different types of actions that are related to Magic. I think that's gonna make you happy.
Listen, this is gonna be my rant to Ravensburger, which we're doing every podcast. Stop with the Magic follow, right? You did the little logo on the pre-release cards, like Magic was doing.
Yep.
If
slowly
Andrew's
but
correct
sure.
and we're creeping towards that, let's stop. Let's reset. Be Lorcana.
I mean,
don't be
do you
Magic.
agree?
Yeah, just because, I mean, the one downside, because most people who play either Magic or another system are not used to, is you have no way of getting a card you want, so you're essentially having to build or put in even maybe more draw than you want to try and ensure you can get the card you want, or you're just hoping.
Well,
Heart of the cards.
Yes.
Heart of the
but
cards.
Scott,
You're
I
drawing
just
off the
cheat
top.
and I put 7 of that card in the deck.
Uh-huh.
So that's how you.
And
get
you
a
still
card
didn't
want.
see one.
You still didn't see it, which is crazy, right?
Wasn't that your 5th Merida you did?
It's weird when I'm doing that. And you're like, how do you have 5 arrows?
Yeah.
It's like, listen, don't worry about it. I get to pull back my
The 3 arrows, yeah.
and use it again.
6
so.
3 arrows and 5 Merida.
Yeah, it's the way to do it, right?
But that's
Judge.
But that's what Andrew's kind of talking about. That's why you need multiple copies, is because that unless you're gonna have draw, this would allow you to be like, I don't need to have 4 or 3 copies of a card because I can just search for the couple I might need. If
Sure.
it's not a super useful card, it's just, hey, I need this card on 3 because it helps the rest of my deck.
And
Yeah.
what's the
That's
thing
what
that
search
always
would do.
happens? You always draw it when you don't need it,
Yeah.
and you never draw it when you do need
Yes.
it.
100%.
You know, it's just like, I don't need this till later, and you're like, oh, and you always get it in your opening hand,
Yes.
you mulligan it away, and then you just draw it back at the last. It's usually the 7th card, and you're like, oh, he's back again. So it's like,
Yeah, now you have 2 of a card you don't need.
yeah, and that's kind of where that uninkable. The reason that I'm so like, oh, uninkable is when you draw that card, you can't do anything with it, right?
Correct.
You know, you need to be, unless you're in green or now steel, which is draw and discard. So steel is very good at drawing and discarding. Green is now very good at drawing and discarding. That's kind of why those cards are so powerful now. The new ones that say when you discard this, yes, it's inkable, but there's a Mother Gothel, I believe, in green that's uninkable. So you want to be able to draw it and discard it and then play it from the discard. So like that's kind of helping you filter your hand because it'll get rid of one of the big cards you have, but also that card, and then you can be like, now I can play it, or you know, it helps you filter your hand, filter the deck, filter your hand.
Yeah.
So on that kind of train of thought, Scott, what is your go-to like mulligan logic?
For me, it's usually just beginning, start. So if it's like if I'm playing with shift characters, do I have a character do I have both ends of that, or do I need to draw into it? And then
So
like
you
he's
try to
saying,
have both.
I try to have both at the beginning because you don't know if you're ever going to see it again.
Right.
Or the other thing you can do too is like he's saying, if you're doing curve, you want to at least have your beginning curve there.
Right.
And if you have to sacrifice your later curve for it, then you have to. That's what you want to mulligan. So for me, it's always I want a couple of cards to start to build for characters, and then I want at least 1 or 2 cards that are going to draw, so I can either draw into it or cycle into it. Like you're saying with the discard, so like strike a good match. Let me draw 2, get rid of the one cards that I
Correct.
don't want.
Yeah, you're filtering through to get
Yeah.
to what you need.
Yeah.
So
and-
when we're talking about deck building, how many 1-drops should someone have in their deck?
I usually build.
It's a
anywhere
loaded
from-
question.
I do 4 to 8.
4 to
because
8.
it's
Only 4 to 8.
because I want to be able to hit my 1-drop, and or you do a combination. For me, some decks I do only 4 characters, and it could be say 6 actions or songs
Right.
in one. So that like you've seen you do for blue, it's develop your brain. I'm not really
Correct.
building a character. I'm just going to build something that helps
Correct.
me for the future turns.
Or the red one that lets you draw.
Yes.
Right, gives +1 and draws. So you're just
yes,
using it as a draw engine.
yeah.
Hey,
Because
Andrew,
you're feeding the Olaf engine.
it'd
Yeah.
be great if you could say the name of the card, so I'll spend hours looking for the red one.
That one's it's the
It's got Milo Thatch on it.
yeah. It's Mile Thatch
Okay.
red. It's red 1.
Yeah.
It's like it's basically the green version of improvise.
I wanted to say improvise.
It's literally
but
the same
that's
character.
not
It's
it.
the same wording.
Yeah.
It's just red instead of green.
And you see how
So
so
it's inner something, inner
Inner
fight.
strength or-
inner strength.
They're the same
So-
name.
yeah. But see, you see how that so improvise. The only reason improvise ever saw play was because of the illusion characters. So remember when they had illusions, which was like your
The
Nefar,
snake
the
and-
snake,
yeah.
yeah. So that just said when that was targeted by an action, that card would go away. So the easiest thing to do
Correct.
was to run a 1-drop action that also drew you a card. So not only were you like, hey, that snake is gone, or that
But I
Iago, and now I get to draw a card. So that's why improvise even saw play. And now people are like, hey, that works great for the Olaf deck, or that works great for, playing the actions where you need actions in your discard.
Or if you're going to do Mulan, because then it's just free draw and a +1 attack if you're going to do that.
Correct.
So Andrew, what's your logic in mulliganing, and about how many 1-drops do you typically put in a belt deck?
So, it's kind of a loaded, question. It depends on your colors, right? So if I'm running a purple steel deck, I want at least 10 1-drops because you're drawing so many cards and you're able to play out a lot more characters.
You're trying to get wide.
You're trying to go wide, exactly. And so, because when you're running steel, you run strength. And strength of Raging Fire says it deals 1 damage for each character out. So you want a lot of 1-drops. You want to go wide, and you want to be able to say, oh, I play a Clarabelle that's a 5/6, and you go, well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters, and gone. So that's when you're in those kind of colors, you want to go wide because you're just drawing and playing as fast as you can. When you're in blue, you don't need, like you said, you take the turn off to develop your brain. You're sailing, you're visioning. So you're building your
Used to be sailing and
you
vision.
used
now
to
you're
be.
just jumping. Yeah.
Now you're just
You're
think-
jumping, you're Mickeying, you're Ichaboding,
you're an
Christophing,
Inkabuling, you're an Inkabuling.
Christoph.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So he's good because he is Inkable.
Also,
The Cinderella.
Jiminy Cricket as well.
Yeah.
The new Cinderella.
Yeah, the new
not-
Cinderella. Yeah, if you
yeah.
put if you
I know-
put a character.
Yeah.
Andrew likes the old Cinderella better because you're ramping, inking, but you're also getting a card. Where the new
Correct.
one, you're just feeding.
Well,
your-
and she allows you to ink anything in your hand.
Correct,
So
yeah.
if you end up with 2 Cindy's and you're like, oh, I can't really play both, and I'm going to play, a Moana or something on my next turn, you play the Cindy to ink a Cindy. So that's kind of how you get around playing a lot of uninkables, is that you have a way. And that's why Fishbone Quill, was such a powerful card because you could play it, you could tap, you could ink anything, and it was usable.
Yeah.
And that was just, meta breaking because Flaversham Popsicle eats, draws 2, ink this. With Fishbone, ink this for turn. I mean, you're getting to 20 ink in 5 turns, and you're just eating up your deck. So,
I feel like aggro people do that anyway.
yeah. But I mean, you're doing it with ink, and they're doing it with characters, right? So
Yeah.
they're trying to race you out, and you're just trying to get to a board wipe. And that's why they ask you, how many ink are you at?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm at 6. Okay.
I learned
I
that
back
early
off.
on
Yeah, back
from
off the gas.
Spooky Sight.
Spooky
I
sight.
had until
There you
6 to
Yep.
either get my lore and win, or I knew it was over.
Yep.
So what is your logic for mulliganing,
Jesus.
and how many 1-drops do you
I
play?
mean, come on, Professor. You're in the lab, right?
In my historically, I've tried to run about 8 1-drops, and inevitably I'd always grab 0.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the math wasn't mathing well.
Right.
So right now I'm at 7 1-drops in my new build that I'm doing. And it seems to be working okay in the lab.
Right.
But I got to get it in the real world. But I don't have every card yet.
Right.
Because some are set.
Yeah, you're
15,
still
obviously.
in the theory process of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So my deck will change. But right now I am at 7. And when I mulligan, I literally try to mulligan anything 5 or higher. Just get it out of my hand.
Yeah.
And some of my 5s are uninkable anyways.
Yeah.
And I try to make sure I have at least 3 inkables. Because if I get stuck, I know I can get to 3. And then hopefully in the first 3 turns, I've got at least 1 more. Because I do play Hercules, who's an uninkable at 4, which will allow me to do a lot of things.
Right.
So.
Yep.
Yeah.
And are you loving that, playing the blue ramp in your new deck?
I'm getting used to it. It's still like I get frustrated because I'm so used to be like...
It feels like you're taking your arm, right, and they just tied it behind your back. And
Why on turn 3 do I only have 3?
Yeah.
I don't understand this. There should be 6 here. What is going on?
Why do you need more than 3 ink?
Yep.
They took your hopscotch and they just erased it all, and you're not jumping anymore.
I went to play hopscotch, all of a sudden it was dodgeball.
Yeah,
So
that's it. That's it. Absolutely.
Brett, what are you doing for mulligans since you asked everyone else?
In my
If there's
current,
not a Pocahontas, get a Pocahontas.
in my current deck, I need to have my purple Pocahontas, my Miko,
And a
my
Tiana.
1-drop Aurora,
Yep.
Grandma Willow.
Discount.
I need my discounts because I don't have draw and I don't have ramps. So
And you're running off of 3 ink.
the discounts are I may top out at 5 ink, but usually I hit.
I love it when it gets later on and you're
3
going,
to 4.
do I still need the ink? You know, and I'm
Yeah.
going,
I tell
And then my
them,
opponents have 12 inks spread out. I'm like, what do you need all this for?
I told her the other night, I said, just always ink because even if it's later in the game and you have a bunch of cards, you could play 3 or 4 of your cards at once.
Yeah.
If I have 12 ink, I can maybe play 2,
yeah.
right?
But I have no draw, so
Correct.
then I'm constantly top decking if I am inking every turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's the aggro
Yeah.
way, right?
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about too, if because you're talking about 1-drops, is I think Andrew mentioned it's like underdogs. So you could still have, you could then have 12 1-drops technically, and the rest are. But then
And what's great about the underdogs?
Yeah.
They sing 1 jump ahead.
That's true. Immediately on turn 1.
Interesting. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Not turn 1,
They
turn
have to
2. You have to
draw,
let it
yeah.
dry.
Yeah,
They
turn
gotta
1.
dry.
Yeah, let it dry, then you can do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that's why they have that's what White Rabbit was for too, because he's evasive singing, so you don't have to worry potentially about dying on.
Correct.
The
Yeah, they all had a nice benefit, right?
Yeah.
You know, Splatter Phoenix was warded, Rabbit was
Yes.
evasive, Judy Hopps had resist.
Creepy knees.
Yep. Yeah. Poor Christopher Robin. Leave that boy alone. But
So when you're building decks, both of you don't care what the lore is, per se.
it matters.
No, unless I'm building a deck for that. I tried building
Yeah.
one where it was all 2 or more. But
I think I played you on that deck, Dick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back to the new nickname in Ranger.
Yep. Yep.
yeah, that's why. Yeah, I want to get. I think I ordered some. I'm gonna do like 3 or 4, until you
Like 3 or 4 lore?
Yeah, because
Shit.
obviously the early ones don't allow you to do that, but
Yeah.
once you get to a certain number, you
Yeah.
start having as many war drops as you want that are 3 and 4. So I want to do a whole deck of that, where it's like after you get to turn 3, it's all 3 and 4.
What's nice about the green combo is that
Yeah.
Milo Thatch, right?
Yeah.
So the Milo Thatch
Who's
is
warded.
warded,
Yeah.
quest for 2, but then you play that Buzz Lightyear. And the Buzz Lightyear, who's a 7-cost uninkable, legendary, allows you to, he's kind of like a pseudo Maui Sari. So every time you're playing action, you can give a lore out. So then you have the Milo Thatch, you play the Buzz, and you're like, I'm going to play a bunch of 1-cost, 2-cost actions, and Buzz will give +1, +1, +1, +1. Milo Thatch now quest for 6.
Yeah, I think he quests for 3, though, not.
Oh, 3, yeah, so even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, 5/5
And-
warded.
Yeah.
And by playing the actions in your discard, you're allowing his second ability, which lets you draw a card at the end of your turn.
Right.
So,
Awesome.
That's right.
yep.
Yeah.
Milo Thatch.
Yeah, and then the other one too, because they have another 7-drop. They have the Tamatoa. That gives
The blue
you-
one.
Yeah, the blue one that
Yeah.
gives you a +1 lore for every card that was put under a card. So you do that with Scrooge, and then you can lore for like 5 or 6.
And if you're playing the green Milo, you could play the green Donald.
Yeah.
That
Which-
you both draw. The gentleman.
No, the one isn't it a green Donald.
Oh, the
When
double
you-
boost?
Yeah,
Yes.
when you boost,
Yeah.
boost
Like the-
again.
Yeah, that's 4. That's 4-drop Donald.
Yeah, there's a gentleman Donald that also lets,
Yeah,
if I draw,
correct.
you draw.
Yeah, which.
Yeah.
thank
Yeah, anytime
God.
you use a boost, you get an extra. That's what
Yeah.
gives you all the extra card draw, unless you kill him.
Nice. All right, guys. Scott, what would be a parting shot gift that you'd like to talk about as we wrap up here today?
I'm interested because you talked about earlier in the marketplace, you're talking about Moana. I'm curious if that would have any kind of a spike or not, since that's releasing now in theaters. Would that partially spike it, or would that hurt it, since we're all assuming it's going to be terrible? So
Right.
would that temporarily make it higher or lower on your market or not?
Yeah, I think, and obviously we don't have data yet. The Moana movie comes out today, and it's not going to do well. We all kind of agree to that. But I think part of the reason Buzz Lightyear Iconic was selling for 15, 20 grand is because of the movie, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You just have
So it's
more
35,
people.
Just came out.
Yeah, you just have more people going, oh, that. So I think
I love Buzz. Yeah.
I think it might in the short term, but I think overall, no. That card, I think, $3,000 to $5,000 is that card's value in a PSA 10.
Right.
Raw, you're going to be at 1,500 probably is my guess. I think it's 18 today. So as things recede, that's what's going to happen. I will say, when I had mentioned market earlier, and you were like, or maybe Andrew said it, the new set's coming out. Yes, but also Pokemon 30th anniversary. And that's pulling, I think, a lot of these people were bored, right? Because if we go back to November to January, it was One Piece.
Yeah.
And One Piece was just nuts.
Yeah.
And then that died, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, hey, Disney Lorcana went nuts. I think we're going to see that recede.
Right.
Because Pokemon's the GOAT, right? They've
Yeah.
been around for 30 years now. And I don't know anything about Pokemon, but I've been hearing
Yeah.
it's 30 years, a big
Absolutely.
release coming up. So I
Absolutely.
think that's what we're seeing.
So it's the investor collectors and
Yes.
not the player.
Correct. Yeah, it's never the players, right?
No.
Yeah, that's kind of like the stock market.
The
They're all,
Buzz is a good
are you
card, but
betting
it's
or short
not.
or not. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Are you short selling? And
Yeah, they're shorting. Yeah, absolutely.
The Buzz was never like the most playable card ever.
No. And for my money, and I know this.
Yeah.
Yeah, bless you. I'll mute you.
Yeah.
The Merida was the better looking card. I thought the aesthetically,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it looks like a stained glass window in the background. Like, it was just a beautiful card.
So the Belle and the Beast or the Lilo and the
Oh, I
Stitch?
think to me, the Belle and the Beast. Not even a question.
You heard it here first.
The art on that
direct all your
card
hate
is
towards him.
unparalleled. Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and send that to orders at sleeve.net. I think that, but I don't have an affinity for Lilo and Stitch.
Right. Yeah.
And I think when you look at that Belle and Beast, when you look at the castle and the dark blue in the back, like to me, that's like.
They're movie posters.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, they're basically movie posters.
Yeah.
Attack of the Vine, like the old 50s movies.
Yeah. And
So-
that, I mean, the Lilo and Stitch looks like a James Bond poster specifically, right?
Right.
They're
Like-
potentially going for different themes on all of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
Andrew, what would be your parting shot for this episode?
Yeah, I look forward to what's coming. I think, it may be a little stale in the beginning because we're only working with 4 sets, so there's only so much you can do. You can't really mix it up like you could before. But I think going forward, you see like Coco's coming. You see like all these IPs that are going to be coming down, and it's going to be neat to see where the game kind of develops and goes and stuff like that. Plus, we're all excited. I don't know how you are about playing Lormander on tomorrow at League. I think it's going to be
Super
fun.
interested to try to figure it out.
Yeah. Shout out to
the
Matt and
least.
Holly for coming up with Lormander.
Yeah, thanks,
es-
Matt.
Especially Holly, who
Yeah.
helped me build my little deck
Yeah, it's going to be
for
fun.
tomorrow night. Yeah.
And
The buzz, everyone's a buzz right now talking about it. I think it'll be fun.
Bren, what would you like to wrap up with?
I cannot wait
Pocahontas?
for Friday to
Oh.
collect all the Pocahontas cards because
Friday the
Next-
17th.
next Friday.
next Friday I will be at Downtown Disney for the card drop. I will be opening all the packs. And
Because ladies have the luck.
Yes, ladies have the luck. I need my Pocahontas cards. I'm a little bothered that she will become more popular and people will
I
play
know.
her more.
Scott, you did not ask her permission.
You did not
Scott.
ask my permission when you played her.
But she works perfectly
In
in
our
the deck.
league, yeah. I'm really excited. Friday, the artist who worked on the dual color
Kendall.
Pocahontas
Yeah.
will be at Downtown Disney autographing.
No, it's
So
just the yellow Pocahontas. It's not
I need
dual.
to open her and then get it autographed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we have the Princess Mini that we'll bring.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because last time we each got 2 signatures.
Nice.
2 cards, which are right behind you guys.
Yep.
But yeah, so for me, Brenda said it. We're going to be in Disney next week for the drop. We have some friends that are coming. We have some friends that we're meeting that we met last time.
I know. We're going to be over screens.
Andrew and I are going to record the podcast over video. Brenda has a prior engagement. So it'll just be us and talking about the drop because it's imminent, right? We
Absolutely.
are basically a week away. By the time you guys hear this, it's a week or less. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And as Andrew mentioned, it'll just be he and I. I will be at the Disneyland Hotel when we're recording, so I will get some video from there to show.
Awesome.
We'll talk specifically about Attack of the Vine.
Yep. Absolutely.
Anything else you guys want to say?
No.
I think that's it.
All right, well.
Shout out to Gage and Charlie, Lauren, all of our locals that come out and play, and we're all excited. It's going to be fun.
Absolutely. Until next time, stay sleeved up.